Yeah, so the breakout session. So we've provided you with a lot of really good perspectives, and we had an opportunity for folks to present their own individual concepts as well. And the cost to you is participating in our breakout sessions, because the point of this LSSW is to gather the community inputs, and it's really through the breakout sessions we're going to be able to do that. So really do encourage you to stick around, participate in the breakout sessions. Which breakout session you participate in will be up to you. There will be 4 of them. We're breaking the lunar science topic up into 2 separate breakout sessions, one focused on the surface environment and a second focused on geology and geophysics. And then we'll have the breakout session for technology development and the one for feeding forward to crewed Mars explorations. And each of these breakout sessions will have a little introduction and an attempt to recruit you to participate in their breakout in just a few minutes. During each breakout session, there will be a facilitator that is a lead XCOM member, and they are also supported by a documentarian, one of our student volunteers. The breakout sessions are scheduled for 55 minutes. The intent is that we will use as much time as needed. If the conversation is wrapping up at 45 or 50 minutes, we're not going to push it to 55. We'll just end it there and start collecting our notes. But we do need to cut off at 55 minutes in order to give the facilitators a chance to gather their thoughts. Breakout sessions will not be recorded, but the documentarians will be there to take detailed notes, and the chat will be saved. So anything you put in chat will go into our records. We are going to use Google Sheets to directly capture community inputs, and recognizing that some members of the community have difficulty using Google Sheets, you can also put things into chat, and we'll try to get those into the sheet on your behalf. So when you get to the breakout sessions, the Google Sheets are going to look something like this. There's a red side and a green side. The red side is where the facilitator will be taking the general notes, and when we come back after the breakout sessions, they'll be talking through that content with the group in plenary. So please don't type in that area. Please leave that for your facilitators. But do feel free to type anything that's relevant into the green area on the right. And we'll be copying and pasting that into the left side or saving it to come back to later when we're writing the final report. When you are participating in the breakout session, you might want to think about these kind of questions, because these are things that are going to allow us to get the most useful inputs. What is the scientific activity? And we particularly have been using the term scientific activity pretty broadly. It's not necessarily a measurement. It's not necessarily even an investigation. It's something that's being done in a deliberate manner that will allow us to gain knowledge. So think about your scientific activity. Why is it important and impactful? One of the things that will probably come out of this is that NASA, when looking at these scientific activities, will want to understand which ones are the most important to addressing, say, science questions or advancing the technologies. How is it enabled by Artemis Space Camp versus enhanced? If it is, we want to hear your ideas, so don't worry about it like it being strictly enabled, but if it is something that requires something that only Artemis Space Camp would provide, like you can't do this until you have 100 kilowatt power, or you can't do this unless something on the surface can exist and be serviced over time, scales of a decade. Like we definitely want to hear those as well, versus things that could be done on a sortie mission, perhaps don't need the base camp infrastructure. And then, as we heard about at the very beginning, there's interest in using science objectives as inputs for designing capabilities. And so if you have thoughts on what capabilities are needed to achieve your scientific activity, we would like to hear those as well. And then the last part is there also will be a part of the Google Sheet where you can sign up to support potential white papers. And what that looks like is this. It's a different sheet. So there will be all the various science activities that are being filled on the left side, and then on the right side there will be a place to put your name and contact information if you wish to potentially support a white paper on that topic, or what's most likely is that we'll be gathering together multiple science activities that are kind of families of types of areas of interest, and we'd be looking at that pool of potential white paper co-authors or leads to help with that activity. All right, so I will actually, since we have a few minutes, I'll open up if there's any questions on kind of the logistics of the breakout sessions. And if there isn't, I'll just move on to describing breakout 1, but I'll give folks a chance to ask anything. Okay. I'm a little nervous that this crowd has been quieter than the typical LSSW, but hopefully you're just all saving it for the breakout sessions.